Good morning. This is Elaine Rector with the SkuVault Seller Spotlight podcast, where entrepreneurs and business owners come to share advice. We talk about the crazy world of e-commerce, the challenge associated with it, and how to stay successful. Today, I'm talking with Lana. So Lana, if you don't mind, would you just tell us in a few sentences who you are and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Lana Orin, and I'm an e-commerce manager. I manage all the different aspects of e-commerce business, from processing orders, shipping, logistics, photography, photo editing, as well as using Excel and utilizing formulas to upload products and manage inventory across all the popular marketplaces.
Great. And how did you get started in the industry in the first place?
Well, so I actually went to school for graphic design and then switched to web design, which opened up my mind to the power of coding and design on the internet. My first job about 8 years ago was with my publisher, which was a greeting card on e-commerce site where you can customize your own greeting cards. But from there, I would say the biggest job that had the largest impact on my e-commerce career was with Kathy Quo Home, which was an online luxury furniture retail store. And there I really taught how to sharpen all my Excel skills and my photo editing skills. And the most rewarding part was definitely seeing the work going live online to purchase by consumers.
Amazing. That sounds like you've definitely had your hands in a couple of different places in the pot, in the whole chain there.
Sure.
What do you think is the most challenging part of e-commerce today?
I would actually say it's not so much the managing aspect. It's just being young and the struggle to be frank, to be taken seriously. Throughout a lot of my jobs, there have been leaders that don't have all the knowledge of the aspects of to drive e-com. Since the e-com industry is still fairly new and young, there are veterans in the retail industry that believe the work is synonymous with e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
And these leaders tend to fail if they're not listening to the younger shoppers that have grown up with online shopping.
Absolutely. Do you have some advice maybe about that piece specifically, or any other advice that you would give an e-commerce entrepreneur to stay successful?
Yeah, and I know it's definitely cliche, but definitely don't give up on what you believe in and what you know is true. There's still many misconceptions with the e-commerce industry. Again, young people in my generation are natural born leaders when it comes to e-com because we grew up in the shopping online era. We just were born into it. And I really believe for a company to be successful, you have to put ego and ageism aside because, the younger generation is definitely, with social media, we know how people are shopping. And I just think that's really important, especially that now that companies are hiring less people and expect people to wear multiple hats.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And has that been something that you've been able to kind of overcome over your experience?
Yes, it's been a challenge because I've definitely worked at a few different companies where, again, the people in charge didn't have as much experience as I did, but because I was younger, that took a toll on that, the knowledge I had to offer purely based on age. So that's definitely been a challenge.
Totally. That's something I think that a lot of us can relate to in this industry for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So this next part will be your opportunity to promote someone else to the show. What other top professionals in the e-com industry like yourself should be on our seller podcast?
Well, actually, I really do need to catch up with her, but I would say Kathy Quo. I worked with her for, a few years. She's an interior designer who built her furniture e-com store from the ground up with her talented programmers about 10 years ago. And she took me under her wing and she really taught me everything I know about e-commerce, from the Excel side and learning to sharpen those skills with formulas, and then really honing in on my Photoshop and photo editing, skills. So that she was, really a big part of my e-com experience.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of plays into what you said too about your kind of initial field of study was the whole graphic design portion of it too. So do you think you've been able to use that quite a bit in your experience also?
Yeah, it's both a double-edged sword. I feel grateful that I can do both sides, the creative side and the data side. But part of the problem with that is that I feel that I'll know more things that maybe some of the, my managers will know. And then it becomes a little competitive, and, we just want to be successful. It's not so much trying to overstep. So I think that's, it's both a benefit to have all those skills, but then it can also hurt you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that may play into this next question that I want to ask anyways, which is about the first real roadblock that you hit in e-commerce. Can you tell us what that looks like and what you did about it? Maybe that will play along into what you just said anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of dials back to the being young in the industry. Because, a lot of people in charge of these companies were just given them by, other people they know, because they needed, they had the experience in retail, but not in e-com. And they feel that the younger generation, because they're young and, they're focused on social media, but that's actually what's going to drive the industry. Because, with Instagram shopping, like to shop, there's just so much power that young people know, and that we just grew up with. It's second nature to us. So I think it's a mistake when the older generation doesn't listen as much to the younger generation.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you there. So that being said, if you don't mind, just tell us about the best way to find you. And maybe if our listeners are interested in contacting you for more information, what kind of information might you be interested in sharing with people who need advice?
You could just find me on LinkedIn, add me, message me. I'm happy to talk about any e-com related things. Yeah, that would work.
Okay, perfect. So thanks again so much for your time, Lana. Again, this is Elaine Rector with the SkuVault Seller Spotlight. If you're an entrepreneur and working in e-commerce, I would love to have you on my show. In addition, to find out how SkuVault can elevate your e-commerce business through inventory management, feel free to message me now. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, happy selling.